New Moon in Taurus and Gemini season energy reading with Human Design. We start with drinking some water. Hey my loves, welcome back to my channel. My name is Nicole, and on today's video I'll be talking about the new moon in Taurus. So I'm posting this video a little later than expected, but I think it's great because it's going to be in perfect pairing with my full moon video in Sagittarius. And the great thing is you can watch the full moon in Sagittarius video and then watch this video and really see how from the new moon period from May 19th, how the energy has changed and how maybe you've seen both energies play out over the course of the past 2 weeks and also moving into the next 2 weeks, because the full moon in Sagittarius will be covering from June 2nd to June 3rd onward till the next new moon. And again, the new moon in Taurus video will be covering from May 19th now through June 2nd to June 3rd. So I'm really excited about what I'm be covering today, because we are talking about abundance, we are talking about personal style, we are talking about connecting with your intuition and your inner truth, and that is going to be all expanded when we get to the energy of early June with the full moon in Sagittarius, when we have abundance coming into fruition. And the themes for the new moon in Taurus are expansion, luck, grounding, resources, self-expression, and tantra. So getting in touch with our personal bodies, our personal style, how we choose to express ourselves creatively. This is all going to be a big conversation and a really big importance in the coming months. So what I love about these videos is not just I cover the energy of the full moon and the new moon, but I also give you guys writing prompts, self-care tips. I cover human design gates and transits that are happening around the time of these new moons and full moons. So you also get life themes that you can pair with the transits. And I really love that because, again, it's good when we have words that we can identify and expressions of them that we can identify that help connect us to what is actually going on in our life. So for this month, for the new moon in Taurus, we will be talking about abundance, because we'll be talking about gate 8, which is about personal style and individuality, and how that now creates opportunities to share and contribute to the whole. We are also going to be talking about gate 14, which is the gate of material wealth, and gate 14 is truly the gate of abundance in form, which is the money gate. So like when we are talking about material wealth and having physical things, we are talking about gate 14. And it's interesting because this gate is it's not what you would expect in terms of how money is created or how material wealth is gained. So here is the energy reading for the new moon in Taurus, and these energy readings pair with my IG posts. I do these posts on Instagram that basically cover this in written form, and I love it because it's a visual graphic expression of like my energy readings. And then you have these videos to pair where I get to speak to you guys about the transits personally and then give you my personal feedback of like what's going on in my life. They're a little more sit down and chatty and vlog style, and yeah, it's just like you get like both aspects of me, the poetic side of Nicole and then like the chatty side of Nicole. If you've been feeling like your efforts aren't garnering the attention or success you deserve, relax in the waiting of your spoils. The universe has a plan that is so unique to you and your abilities, but first it wants you to release the energy of distrust. There is enough resources for everyone, and the more you focus on growing your personal skills, the less you seek to grasp unaligned opportunities. Allow your body to bring you what is in harmony with your nature. Before you know it, you're in a new timeline. Ask yourself, how much more or less would I do if I knew the universe would meet me halfway? So here are some writing prompts for the full moon in Taurus. how can I create more passive streams of income? And I love this because I do think that many of us like get into victim consciousness or frustration about like, why can't I have more, create more, get more? Why can't my body rest? Why do I feel like I always have to accomplish something or look to make income? And we have so many ways of making income and being creative around us, and a lot of times we don't realize it. And it's really just taking the opportunity to step out of our comfort zone and put ourselves in the position to create and like to take that action towards what we want, because it's one thing to say and then it's another thing to do. So yes, your efforts do have to match your trust in the universe, but you do have to put forth the effort in order to create that reality that you want. Next writing prompt. What is the difference between self-care and self-soothing? And I love this because, again, we just got out of Taurus season and now we have like a new moon in Taurus at the end. So it's new moon in Taurus is May 19th. So we're really on the cusp of Taurus season going into Gemini season. So really think of, how am I nurturing myself? How am I digesting information? Look at ways that you might have addictive patterns when it comes to digesting information. I have some videos, Gate 27 and Gate 24, that are human design videos that talk about this. But go deeper into like how you're choosing to digest information, and also if they connect with how you're nurturing yourself, and also if you can find better ways to nurture yourself. So that's the difference between self-care and self-soothing. Self-care is definitely focused on positive habits that nourish you, not just on a physical level, but on a spiritual level. And self-soothing tends to be things that are just like comfortable in the moment, but they're not really on a frequency of bringing us towards the future self we want to create. Next is, in what ways can I differentiate my art? I really love this one because I just read Rick Rubin's The Creative Act, and I'll link that book down below. It's also, I'll put a picture of it here. Amazing book. I have it on Audible. I love Audible because it's like reading with your ears, and I love telling people that because honestly, Audible, I would love to be a brand partner, but also if you ever have a commercial, you must say Audible. It's like reading with your ears, because I just think that's a clever catch line. Anywho, yeah, Creative Act, a really great book, and it talks about differentiating yourself by, for example, I think you just actually got a bit of that there, being true to who you are, showing a sense of your personal style, really choosing to use your self-expression as a way to actually contribute to the planet, because when we express ourselves in a way that is truly authentic, we get to show people that they can truly be themselves too. That's why I really started to not care as much of how I appear and how I show up on camera. Like, yes, I want to look cute. Yes, I want to like enjoy and like be in a space of like freedom with you guys. But also I want to do it because I know on the grand scheme of things, it actually helps people do that for themselves. And like the point of these videos is to encourage others, like, or else why would I be contributing or putting them out there? You feel me? So differentiate yourself. What is so unique to you that you feel like you can put out there? I also have another video. I know I'm always plugging my videos, but they're just really relevant because I'm like creating videos right now in like abundance. So I have a lot of videos that just connect to each other. But yeah, like really think about how you differentiate yourself, because I have a video that talks about why you should start a YouTube channel, and I really feel like people can do that. Like we have such unique ways of showing up that someone may need to see exactly you do something, and I feel like YouTube's a great way to connect to other people in a more intimate way. I used to use IG as a way to really connect with people in an intimate way, and I saw that started to be really ineffective because people just got really used to just like the dopamine hits of clicking and liking things, and that's me included, and it just wasn't personal anymore. So that's why I started like feeling kind of melancholy creatively and wanted to show up in this way of like making videos on YouTube and finding more community to talk to related to esoterics and human design and all the things that I wanted to deep dive into. And I was like, if I get to deep dive into my personal abilities right now, I get to really expand them. And I feel like you guys get to do the same thing too. So yeah, watch that video. Definitely think of creating a channel if you are a small creator watching this, or just someone who has a really dope skill, or just someone, right? Like the whole point of me saying this is it's like if you are a human being, you probably have a unique creative ability and gift, because that's what you're here to do. As Rick Rubin says, like the creative act is that we are here to create, like we are here to like defy. That's how we evolve. So again, think about ways that you can show up that maybe you never thought of. Next writing prompt. What areas of my life should I prioritize for the next 3 months? Really, really great to think about, because again, like we are now going into, we're in Gemini season. So Gemini, because I'm again posting this a little later. So Gemini is a mutable sign. So think about like, what do you want to evolve or change into over the next 3 months? Like you can reinvent yourself, you can quantum leap, you can jump timelines. I'm actually looking to do that, because like the more that I sit here and create these videos and just like I'm enjoying this space, because I'm very happy to have this home and I love it and I get to create it and like have plants around me, but I also can see myself doing so much more, and I know you can too. So know that even if you are very happy, like how can you change and reinvent yourself? And like that comes from really creating longer term goals, because then you're moving into the future, right? You're moving into a new timeline. So think about that. I hope you guys love these writing prompts. I did a little more talking during this portion because I just like, I guess these really hit for me this month. But let's now jump into the human design gates and transits. Jump into the human design gates, gate 8 and gate 14. Gate 8 is the gate of holding together in the I Ching, the gate of style. So let's talk about that gate, as well as gate 14, the gate of bounteousness. For gate 8, I put on my IG graphics all the glitter, because gate 8 to me is literally kind of like all the pieces of beautiful like crystals or beautiful fractals. And fractals are basically like pieces of one form. And if you think of human consciousness in that way, then you understand that we are actually all pieces of one form. Like we are all one network, really, of one collective consciousness. So all the glitter, gate 8, all the gold, gate 14. So now let's talk about all the glitter. This month, it is great to consider how your style influences how you show up in the world. What unique ways can you contribute your ideas that make you stand out but also offer value to those seeking it? Gate 8 in human design is the gate of holding together, because it is our personal contributions and differences that shine to reflect the others. If you have this gate in your design, you may have felt a little bit of melancholy, because it is a melancholy gate, of paving your own path and being one of a kind, or even speaking your unique truth, because gate 8 again is a gate that is about, it leads up to the throat, right? So it is about like bringing that like style or that truth into form or into expression. Allow the emotions to fuel your creativity this month, as it's a great time for exploration and advancement. So again, like creatives are known to be emotional. Rick Rubin talks about that in the creative act. Like in order to create, we kind of have these highs and lows, because that sensitivity to life is what pushes you to do this. If it wasn't for my like pressure to want to share this information and create these videos, I wouldn't necessarily want to sit here and do this, right? Like right now, my daughter's playing and at the park with her dad, and I would love to be there with them. But I also know the value of this information for creating the world that I want to see her live in, right? So yeah, creators go through a lot of melancholy. We do tend to sacrifice. We do tend to have to go through these really like unique, again, personal situations that transform us. And for me, my birth was that. Like, I had a near-death experience during birth. I'm going to do a video about my birth experience, but I think that is now triggering this gate 8 for me, this personal contribution. She was part of that personal contribution. Gate 8 is also a Scorpio gate. So it's very much about death and rebirth, and like that usually comes through creative expression. So yeah, human design is fascinating. You end up realizing, like, not only is this connected to genetic codons, but this stuff is connected to amino acids. Then you see it's connected to spirituality in terms of life themes, the chakra system. Like, I don't know, very complete to me. Like, that's why I have this pressure to share, because I'm just like, I like that it's not just rooted and based in one thing, but there's a material benefit to this information for building businesses, companies, building a better world. Like, yeah, I could go on and on, but let's move forward. Let's talk about all the glitter, gate 14. So gate 14 again is the gate of material wealth. In the I Ching, it's called the gate of bounteousness. The ability to create physical wealth is heightened when we already have confirmation from our environment. Gate 14 is the gate of material wealth, and it is located in the sacral plane. Gate 14 is about having physical energy, because in order to create wealth, there has to be some action. And whether that action manifests like just through physical movement, or it manifests through voice, or it manifests through waves, it's still coming out through something, right? The ability to create physical wealth is heightened when we already have confirmation from our environment and the physical vitality to attract prosperity. So this is super important. In order to create wealth, you do have to be in the right environment. And I think this goes back into networking. When people look at wealth, they don't realize that wealth is truly in our relationships, because wealth is very much connected to your network. In order to create wealth, you have to have a sense of community. You cannot create wealth in isolation. And that is so interesting, because it is connected to gate 8, the gate of holding together. In order to create wealth, you literally have to contribute something into society that helps hold society together. So I think this is really interesting to bring up, because we are in a generation and age of isolation and everyone kind of wanting to kind of do their own thing and not show up. And I think that you can do that. There's unique ways of doing that where you can still contribute, because again, you can't want Gaia, the universe, to just take care of you and you're not offering or giving anything back to her. And that is very much what gate 14 is about. It's about, what can I give to get? Like, what can I give in the sense of energy? What action can I put forth? Gate 14 is part of the codon group, the ring of life and death. And again, as we know, like, your material needs being met is like about life and death. Like, you literally need money to survive and to live in this society, in this world, right? So how do we create that for ourselves? And that is a big part of that, is contributing to the society. So it's important to know our material needs being met helps to create more resources and sacral power for an individual to thrive. Again, You have to have your material needs to be met in order for you to even have the physical energy to help others. And this is really important, and this is why relationships are important, because we may end up in situations, because life happens, where we can't necessarily take care of ourselves, and then you do have to rely on your community and your tribe. But also, if you have been someone that has contributed, that's always been a giver, gate 14, the gate of prosperity, is literally about giving to receive. So this is very much an energy of true exchange. So what are you willing to give in order to receive? You have to think about that, like on a spiritual level. What will you put your time and energy into, and like proper intention into, like, and on a deeper level, your heart into. I rambled a bit there, but I hope you guys get the message. It's important to note that those with this gate have proper direction and intention with their materials. So it's not just about having money, because having money makes you rich, but really having wealth means having money and putting it into the right resources and trusting those resources to grow. So it does mean proper intention, and it does mean proper direction. The gate 14 leads to gate 2, which is the feminine energy. Gate 2 is pure yin, and gate 2 is about being receptive to life. Also have a video on that, I'll put it here. But yes, it's really, really important to be receptive to life, because then you now have the energy to, especially if you are connected to the resources, the physical resources, to bring things to form, and bring like the most beautiful things to form, because you're in the beat. And I'll make a video on that about gate 2 and gate 14, when that energy meets up and it makes the channel of the beat. But then you really get into that, and that's when you're really hitting onto what people need, because you're into the patterns, into the trends. You have a true understanding of what like life needs in the physical moment. And think about it. Businesses that make big bucks, they know what people need in the moment. Amazon, great example. I mean, I'm an Amazon affiliate. You guys see I have hella links below, because I think Amazon, as much as people dislike it, they are meeting material needs for people, and they are providing people things with great customer service. We know that if society is moving fast, and there's a company that's now allowing us to get things in a really quick way, yeah, you are going to have people, our energy, our dollars are being put into it, and that is also what is pushing that machine. So you have to think of that. Like, they are supporting something that society needs. Or on the flip side, you could say maybe we don't need Amazon, and then you have to think about, where am I putting my dollars? Because if we don't need it, then society as a whole has been putting their material focus, their energy, their sacral energy in that direction, their physical dollars in that direction, and that is what is continuing that expansion of that business. So that's an example of that. Definitely wasn't expecting to get into that, but I'll talk a little bit more when I talk more into the channel, and maybe I'll bring that example up again. So money is on our minds at the end of Taurus season, but we see that to attract it, start with physical health and competency. So yes, in order to attract money, it's really important to be healthy, because our physical bodies are a part of our magnetism. It's part of our energy field. So like, money is attracted to that energy, and part of that energy is the belief that you can have it. So yes, you have to believe that you can have it to have it, and then you have to take the physical action to create it. Now let's hop into some self-care for the Taurus new moon. So we have read a romance novel, and I just feel like Taurus season is very romantic. The bull is earthy, she's the maiden, the empress, so why not tap into the feminine energy and read a romance novel? Then we have a walk barefoot in nature. Taurus is about earth, so it's very much about grounding, and the new moon in Taurus, I was like, it's a great time to ground, reconnect with earth. The new moon is great for recharging, and I feel like our feet are kind of like it plugs into the earth, and like that really helps us connect and like recharge and like recenter ourselves, but also ground ourselves. And then with that energy, we really can now create from a positive space. Next is buy a new oracle deck. I really love having oracle decks. I actually pulled a card for my Earth Warriors oracle deck for this season, and I'll probably post it in another video as a pull. But I think it's really, really great to pull your cards and really use divination tools, especially if you are not someone that is prone to anxiety or paranoia, because then, yeah. But I highly recommend using cards, especially like if you just need the guidance and you don't want to really like ask and like put that energy into other people's hands. Just pull one card for yourself, read the message, and like take a walk and give yourself time to download the information. Next is practice growing a new plant. I really think using your hands in gardening is a really great way to reconnect and ground yourself with the earth. And also it's a form of creative expression. Like, we use our hands on our phones, but like gardening and tending to the earth is truly like the beginning of like what humanity is and was. And I really feel like connecting with that is a really great way of even evolving and moving forward and seeing the earth that we truly want to create. Because like I would love to live in like a more nature oriented space and not necessarily feel like we're just like in these boxes and like so a little disconnected. And that's also a choice. I chose to live where I am living now, but I do think overall the earth can be a little more connected to its natural state. Next is eat a favorite meal, and eating food is another way of grounding, connecting to the earth, nurturing yourself, and really thinking about your digestion and what you're intaking. So really use this time to connect to the earth and connect to yourself. So as you guys saw, I got really chatty finishing up the video. So feel free to reflect on this. I feel like it's still tons of information, and think about how that channel is impacted in your life. I would love to see you guys tell me more about how that channel has affected you. For me personally, I have gate 2, my partner has gate 14, my daughter has gate 14, and I do feel like since they've been in my life, it's been very abundant. So I would love to hear more about your families, if you're a projector, if you're a mom, if you're just someone who really loves human design. Share more about the gate 2 or gate 14 or the channel of the beat, and I would love to see you guys in my next video. Yeah, keep watching. I have tons of videos coming about this stuff. You know, you guys have all my old human design videos and some new ones, so stay tuned. And if you made it to the end, of course, feel free to subscribe, like, comment, and share, and also check out my CMOS shop.